Good morning all, and welcome back. It's Monday afternoon, and Monika and I are going to head off to a little antique shop with a coffee shop attached because we're on the hunt, kind of semi-casual hunt, for a few pieces for the property we're moving into in about 12 days' time. We've ordered a couple of bits and pieces, but ideally I'd love to find, if it is at all possible, a nice antique coffee table and maybe a few other bits and pieces. So this looks like a good spot around about 3 miles away, just on the outskirts of Ipswich. So we'll head down and have a look to see what kind of stock they've got. You may also notice that the Bonneville still has the crappy exhaust on. In fact, someone emailed me. I need to reply to them. Apologies that I haven't. The Works YouTube channel, that they'd like the exhaust, so at least it won't be scrapped. It will be heading off to a good home. But things are never as easy as they seem, so I got the exhaust back, and it's upstairs taking up a ludicrous amount of space. Nope. Taking up a ludicrous amount of space, and I had a look at it and realised I need a whole load of Triumph specific nuts and bolts. So I went on to World of Triumph, found these extra nuts, bolts, washers, grommet things, bits of rubber that I need to attach the exhaust to the bike, ordered them. Slightly eye-watering cost, I'm not going to lie to you, but I want to save that treat for a later video when I attempt to fit the exhaust myself. I've now become much, much less confident that I can do this myself, but I have no choice. It must be done by me because the wait queues for any mechanics would be far too long and it wouldn't coincide with me heading back to the London area. So it must be done by me. I can worry about that for a later date though. For now, off to have a look at some antiques. Welcome to the shed in the little village of Sproughton. So it's an antique shop and also a World War II, I believe, tea room. We're about to go inside, although I have been told that it often gets quite busy, so you may have to book in advance. So fingers crossed we get a space. Before I go in, I'll show you, I'll give a little shout out for QUADLOCK, which is the channel sponsor, because the QUADLOCK gear is probably the single most game-changing biking gear that I've ever owned. It goes from being my sat-nav on the bike with its vibration dampener and USB so it can charge it, to being the main way that I can sole film, or that we can sole film everything just with a phone. So this is the only way we do all of our filming. We don't have any big camera equipment or anything like that. It's all done with a phone. And the way I do the filming, whether I'm doing a podcast or self-filming, like in Africa, for example, I've got a professional level tripod. I think that was about £40. And that is the key. That is a little QUADLOCK attachment that will go onto a standard universal fitment. Screw in there, phone on top of that, and then I can self-film myself, set it up in different positions on the road, whether it's higher or lower. And if I've got more simple stuff to do, I'll show you one more thing. That is a QUADLOCK tripod for smaller stuff. So these all pop out, and you can do all of the self-filming yourself. So whether you're using it for casual stuff at home, business meetings, or you fancy self-filming your ride, QUADLOCK really can make everything seamless. It's been a channel sponsor for quite a long time now, and it's a product that I cannot recommend highly enough.
Why do you try to waken memory? Why talk about the days that used to be? You say you love me, but you know that's not true. I can't forget the tears I shed over you.
Wow, look at this section. This is war-related stuff. This is a newspaper cutout from Tuesday 13th, 1944. Gas masks, World War I stuff there. What looks like an old gas mask there, and a really old US flag. Very interesting. And then down here, the section we need to get to, more of the furniture type stuff with, just notice these, have a look at some of these old dolls with the creepiest eyes I've ever seen. And this is a 300-year-old diorama, still intact. I mean, imagine that, 300 years, and it's so delicate with all of the leaves and the intricate detail, and it's still in such good condition, all in one piece. I mean, these are not things specifically made to last, so that's amazing to see something like that. Who would have guessed, in a tiny little village on the outskirts of Ipswich, you'd have to book to come somewhere, but this tea room, I've forgotten the name, but I'll include all of the details below and maybe here as well. This tea room, you have to book before you come because it's been so busy the whole time. There's one more room behind me, and that's got an old imitation World War II bunker or World War II shelter. And there were lots of little tables next to it, and I was just peering in, having a look. And a lady said to me as I was looking in, she said, "You probably won't remember that, but I remember staying there at my grandparents' house during the war and having to get in an old air raid shelter like that." It's so true to the 1940s style. Everything from the outfits, the food. We've got a Victoria sponge here, Monika. You may not have grown up with that, but I remember, definitely with my parents and grandparents, always having Victoria sponge. Carrot cake, cafetiere with food, cafetiere with milk, and finally, this is something you don't always get. You get your cup, your spoon, and you get a little mouse as well, a chocolate mouse with it, complimentary. That's brilliant. Everything about it so full of character. No coffee table, unfortunately, but that was a nice little trip down memory lane for me. Probably me more than Monika, because I remember going to my grandparents' houses and a lot of the toys and things sold there, I could just picture in my head similar things being in my grandparents' houses. And then having the tea. In fact, we wanted cream tea, but word of warning, they'd all sold out. So if you want the real traditional experience, cream teas, etc., you really have to book, get there before, I would say, 1 o'clock to guarantee that you can get a full menu. It is that popular, but you know, you can see all of the corned beef sandwiches and things like that. And I just remember my granddad, one of his choice bits of food was spam. And spam was, I think they still sell it, just this, for me anyway, in my eyes, disgusting block of meat in a tin, completely compressed, pink meat. You'd take it out of the tin, it would slither out, and then you would slice this meat up. And it boomed in popularity during the war years, and it just took me back to basically going to my grandparents when I was a child. So it was very enjoyable. It's actually a really nice experience. They do the whole thing. They dress up, the food's correct, the environment's correct, the musical background, audio is correct, everything about it is spot on. It's a really unique place. Definitely pop down if you're in the Ipswich area, because they do things really, really well here. Been about 10 years since I did my last pumpkin. Monika's laughing at me weirdly. Well, that's Monika, that's your drawing. Monika, you're getting really weird. That is your drawing of a scary thing. I don't watch horrors actually. Monika tried to force me to watch a horror, and I went to the cinema with Monika and a friend about 2 weeks ago to watch The Nun. So unpleasantly scary, that film. So unpleasantly scary. I swore it would be the last horror I ever watched. They're just not enjoyable. You leave feeling awful about yourself. You're there the whole time wincing, not wanting to see
You're
anything.
scared of ghosts. That's
Yeah,
why.
it's weird the way the mind works, because I don't specifically believe in ghosts.
I
but
think you do.
maybe subconsciously I do, even though I don't want to believe in them. But yeah, something about horror films like that completely freaks me out. I cannot deal with it. But I will give you something on a lighter note just before I leave you all to it. This I was very kindly sent over. I think someone felt sorry for me, so I hugely appreciate that. One day I'll get the real thing, but for tonight I'll be building my very own little Land Rover Defender. So thank you for that. That is a lovely, lovely gesture. We'll wrap it up there. We've got American Psycho on, and I should say, just 2 days ago, Monika and I watched a film I've never seen before, a classic, The Talented Mr. Ripley. So if you're looking for some films on Netflix, Get that on Netflix. It's a magical film. Thank you so much everyone for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.